Welcome to the Sleepy Underworld, a place where romance blooms, magic sparkles, and timeless fairy tales are reimagined for the dreamers of today. From heart-stirring romances to spellbinding adventures, every story is a soothing escape into a realm of love, wonder, and charm. So curl up, press play, and let us carry you away to the land of dreams. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and leave a comment. We'd love to know in what part of the world you are watching and what is your favorite tip for a good night's sleep. Thank you for watching and enjoy the video. The aroma of rain-kissed cobblestones mingled with the heady perfume of night-blooming jasmine as I lay in my bed, my thoughts drifting back to the mysterious shop I had discovered earlier that day. Sweet Charms Confections stood out against the twilight like a jewel, its windows radiating an otherworldly glow that seemed to dance between starlight and sunset. My silk sheets whispered against my skin as I tossed and turned, unable to forget the way the shop's gold lettering had shimmered in the fading light. The display window had showcased candies that gleamed like precious stones, rubies, sapphires, and diamonds transformed into edible treasures. The very air around the shop had thrummed with an energy that made my skin tingle and my heart race. Logic urged me to stay in bed, to dismiss these fanciful thoughts as mere imagination. But something about that night, perhaps the way moonbeams painted liquid silver across my walls, or how the air crackled with possibility, made me question everything I had ever believed about the world. Before reason could prevail, I found myself sliding my feet into burgundy velvet slippers and wrapping my grandmother's cashmere shawl around my shoulders. The fabric carried whispers of her rose perfume, bringing back memories of countless bedtime stories filled with magic and true love. It felt right to wear it on this night of all nights. The city had transformed in the late hour, becoming a realm of shadows and secrets. My footsteps echoed softly against the ancient stones as I made my way through the empty streets. The usual urban symphony had faded to a gentle murmur, broken only by the melancholic song of a distant nightingale and the rustling of maple leaves dancing in the breeze. Sweet Charms materialized before me, like something from a dream, its golden light spilling onto the wet pavement in pools of liquid warmth. Common sense insisted the shop should be closed, yet the brass door handle turned easily in my grasp, warm as if it had been waiting for my touch. A crystalline chime announced my entrance, and I stepped into an atmosphere thick with wonder. The scents enveloped me immediately. Rich dark chocolate and Madagascar vanilla spun sugar and fresh cream, but beneath it all lay something more ancient and mysterious, like leather-bound grimoires and midnight gardens in full bloom. Towering shelves reached toward the ceiling, lined with countless glass jars containing candies that seemed alive with inner radiance. Deep crimson drops pulsed like living embers, violet spirals twisted and spun as if dancing to unheard music, and golden orbs throbbed with the warmth of captured sunlight. "The shop has been expecting you," a melodious voice called out, drawing my attention to the figure behind an intricately carved mahogany counter. The man's silver hair caught the golden light like moonbeams woven into silk, and his eyes held depths of wisdom that seemed to span centuries. His waistcoat of midnight purple velvet was embroidered with silver threads that appeared to shift and change when I looked away. "I'm Ambrose," he continued, his voice carrying notes of wind chimes and summer storms. "You're here because your heart seeks something your mind cannot name." His words resonated deep within my soul. I thought of my apartment with its shelves overflowing with romance novels, of countless nights spent dreaming of a love that felt like stardust and sunrise, of the perpetual yearning for something more than the mundane world could offer. "I don't know what drew me here," I whispered, my voice barely disturbing the shop's enchanted atmosphere. Ambrose's smile deepened the fascinating web of lines around his eyes. "The heart possesses wisdom beyond reason's understanding." His elegant fingers danced over the collection of jars before him. "Each sweet in this shop contains a different enchantment. Some bestow courage, Others grant clarity. Some... He reached for a small box perched on a shelf so high I hadn't noticed it before. Some guide us to love. The box he placed before me was covered in velvet the color of dusk, worn to a buttery softness that spoke of countless hands before mine. Inside, nestled on a bed of sterling silk, lay a single piece of candy, a heart-shaped crystal that pulsed with its own rhythm, perfectly matching the beat of my heart. "The sweetest dreams," he explained, his voice taking on an almost reverent quality. "It reveals the path to your heart's deepest desire, but only for those brave enough to follow where it leads. The journey isn't always direct, and what you discover might surprise you." The candy felt warm against my palm. Tiny rainbows danced within its clear depths, and I could have sworn I heard the faintest melody emanating from its core. "Let it dissolve as you fall asleep," Ambrose instructed. "The magic will weave itself into your dreams, and when you wake, you'll see the world anew. But remember, true magic lies not in the candy itself, but in your willingness to see what has always been there, waiting to be discovered." I held the box close to my heart as I stepped back into the night. The air felt different now, electric with potential, and every shadow seemed to hold infinite possibilities. The walk home passed in a blur, my feet barely touching the ground. In my bedroom, I changed into my favorite silk nightgown, its cool touch a contrast to my warm skin. The candy glowed softly in the moonlight as I placed it on my tongue. The taste exploded across my senses. Sun-warmed strawberries fresh from the vine, delicate frost patterns on winter windows, the effervescent first sip of champagne, the lingering kiss of sunset. As sleep claimed me, I felt myself falling into a world where magic wasn't just possible. It was the very essence of reality. Dawn arrived with unprecedented clarity. Sunlight streamed through my window in tangible ribbons of gold, and the air itself seemed to sparkle with diamond dust. Every sound carried new meaning. The morning birds created a symphony of purpose, and the distant church bells rang with destiny. I dressed with intentional care, choosing a dress the color of midnight scattered with tiny silver stars. Each item I touched hummed with significance. My grandmother's locket with its secret compartment, shoes that whispered rather than clicked against the floor, and a bracelet that captured light like trapped moonbeams. The city had transformed overnight. Colors blazed with new intensity. Scents told stories of their origins, and sounds wove themselves into melodies. Every person I passed glowed with their unique inner light, and coincidences accumulated like autumn leaves. A book falling open to exactly the right passage, a street musician playing the melody that had been haunting my dreams, an unexpected detour leading to a hidden courtyard, alive with iridescent butterflies. The local coffee shop drew me in with the rich aroma of freshly ground beans and something more, a hint of that same mysterious scent from Sweet Charms. The barista's eyes sparkled with knowing as he handed me a drink I hadn't ordered, but that proved to be exactly what my soul craved. "The bookstore next door is calling your name," he suggested, though I'd never mentioned my love of books. "I have a feeling today will be special." The familiar bookstore felt different, transformed by the same magic that had touched everything else. Wind chimes by the door sang the same crystal notes as Sweet Charms' bell, and the beloved scent of old books was enhanced by something that reminded me of starlight and possibility. Moving through the shelves felt like walking through a dream. Books whispered their stories to me, and glimpses of other patrons appeared like scenes from an enchanted film. A woman writing in a journal that glowed with soft light, a man whose shadow took the shape of wings, a child reading to a cat with eyes like golden coins. In the poetry section, my fingers brushed against a leather-bound volume at the exact moment another hand reached for it. The touch sent electricity coursing through my entire body, and I looked up into eyes the color of honey and autumn leaves and ancient magic. "I've been searching for this book my whole life," he said, his voice resonating with something deep inside my soul. Though I'm beginning to think I was searching for this moment. His name was Oliver, and talking to him felt like remembering rather than meeting. We shared stories over cups of tea that never grew cold, and each word built a bridge between our worlds. He spoke of dreams that mirrored mine exactly, of feeling out of place in a world too ordinary for his soul, of visiting a mysterious candy shop the night before. "It tasted like summer strawberries," he said, watching me with eyes that saw straight to my heart. "And winter frost," I finished, and the air between us crystallized with destiny. Hours passed like minutes as we talked. Oliver told me of the stories he wrote, tales of magic hidden in plain sight, and love that transcended ordinary reality. I shared my collection of midnight adventures and impossible dreams, and each confession brought us closer to a truth we both somehow always knew. Days blended into weeks, and our love story wrote itself in moments of everyday magic. We discovered hidden places in the city that seemed to exist just for us. A garden where flowers bloomed according to visitors' emotions, a cafe where the coffee tasted like liquid memories, and a rooftop where the stars danced just for us. Each day brought new enchantments. Oliver's touch left trails of starlight on my skin, and our kisses tasted like the candy that had brought us together. We read poetry to one another in voices that made the words come alive, and our laughter created butterflies that fluttered away on wings of light. One snowy evening, as perfect crystalline flakes spiraled around us, Oliver led me to a familiar storefront. Sweet charms glowed with welcome, and Ambrose stood in the doorway as if he had been expecting us. "The sweetest dreams," Oliver said, presenting a velvet box identical to the one that had started our journey. Inside, a ring sparkled with an inner fire that matched the candy hearts that had brought us together. "Are the ones we live while we're awake?" "Yes," I whispered, and the snow swirled around us in patterns of joy. Ambrose's smile held all the wisdom of the ages as he presented us with 2 more candies, these shaped like intertwined hearts. "For the next chapter of your story," he said, his words carrying the weight of prophecy. Years later, I still remember that magical night, as if it were yesterday. Oliver and I have created our own enchantments, in the way he brings me tea every morning, knowing exactly how I like it. In the notes we leave for one another, words of love hidden in unexpected places. In the gentle touch of his hand finding mine in the dark. Our daughter now sits on my lap, her eyes wide with wonder as I tell her stories of the mysterious candy shop where magic and love intertwine. She wears my grandmother's shawl, which still carries the faintest hint of rose perfume, and asks me to tell the tale again and again. "Is it real, Mama?" she whispers, clutching her own small velvet box from Sweet Charms, a gift from Ambrose on her 5th birthday. I smile, catching Oliver's eye across the room. He still looks at me the way he did that first day in the bookstore, as if I'm the most magical thing he's ever seen. "The most real magic," I tell her, "is the kind we create ourselves, with every act of love, every moment of wonder, every choice to believe in the extraordinary." As I tuck her into bed, I catch a glimpse of golden light through her window. Sweet Charms Confections, still standing sentinel in the night, waiting for the next dreamer brave enough to believe. But the true magic, I now know, isn't in the candy, or the shop, or even in Ambrose's knowing smile. It's in the heart's capacity to recognize wonder, to embrace mystery, and to love deeply enough to transform the ordinary world into something extraordinary. Each night, as I fall asleep beside the person who makes reality more magical than any fantasy, I smile, knowing that tomorrow will bring new wonders. Because the sweetest dreams aren't the ones that come while sleeping. They're the ones we build together, heartbeat by heartbeat, in a world that reveals its magic to those brave enough to believe in love. And somewhere in the city, a bell chimes like crystal in the night, calling to another heart ready to begin its own magical journey.